anybody out there can figure out the weather, just let me know. 225-9697 is the text line. That's Landry over there. I'm Nathan. 96.5 KECO in Elk City, 57 degrees. And we've already had some rain this morning. I heard it, Landry, at my house. I heard it.
I heard thunder.
Hoses are like offensive lines, not like thunder. They're like offensive lines. You know, the center, the guard.
Tackle.
The big men who you absolutely need in order to protect your quarterback, open holes for the running backs, give time for the receivers to get open. You've got to have a great offensive line, even though nobody knows their name and they don't win the big-time awards. They're not flashy. They just are vital and get the job done like your hoses. And when you need hose help, you need American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse.
Is there an offensive tackle? And if so, isn't that a misnomer? Because, you know, people in the offensive line don't tackle anybody.
What else would there be? I think,
but
I don't know. I know there's a defensive
on
tackle.
The defensive line, why is it we call one position the tackle? Because they're all supposed to tackle.
Yeah, I don't know. Because they needed a name.
Tackle? I guess you heard Barney Frank died.
No!
Barney Frank died.
How old was he?
86?
Barney Frank played the guitar and the French harp. I thought yesterday's discussion of three name singers got the most interest of anything we've done in about 6 months.
Could we come up with any four-name singers? In country, are there any one-name singers? You know, in rock and roll, there was always Prince, Cher,
sure,
Madonna.
No doubt.
Okay.
Adele. Look at Adele.
And now Adele. The only thing I could come up with in country music, well, actually, there are two. Merle, Garth. I guess Reba.
I'm going to go with Reba.
So it's three.
Oh, good. This is from the text line at 225-9697. Great news. Great news. Steve has decided he's going to run for governor.
Of what?
He wanted me to ask you two guys if he could count on your support. He asked me to be his campaign manager. Man, that Steve's a nice guy.
One of my favorite Randy Butler stories. You know, Randy Butler used to be my boss at Southwestern. He would sign my check every month, and it came on time every month. Randy Butler got checks out on time every month.
Believed in paying the help.
Tell
him McClintock pays his riders up front.
He signed my check every month. Well, before he was my boss at the university, he was something of a politician. Were you aware of that, Nathan?
Oh, yeah.
He was involved in politics. He had been a state representative. He had gotten to know a man named Brad Henry. I think they were in the legislature at the same time. Where was he? Where was Henry from?
Shawnee, I think.
Was he from? I thought he was from Shawnee. Okay, so they were friends. They were buddies, and they both knew a guy named Scott Meacham.
Sure.
Did he serve in the legislature?
No.
Scott Meacham from Clinton, but he ran the bank in Elk City. Is that right?
He's a part of, I think he's still on the board of First
National.
Is he? Yeah.
But he's from, the Meachams are from Clinton, aren't they?
Yes.
All right, so they all knew each other. Anyway, after Randy was out of the legislature, was he, at that point, had he started working with SWAZU, and he was an assistant something to the president and governor liaison? Anyway, Scott, I think it was Scott Meacham, told Randy, but I only called him, or they had coffee or whatever, played checkers somewhere. Scott Meacham says to Randy Butler, Brad Henry's going to run for governor. And Randy Butler said, governor what? Because he thought his good friend Brad Henry was an unlikely gubernatorial candidate.
He was.
And so he said, governor what? And I heard Randy Butler tell that story, and that's a good story. That is a very good story.
225-9697 is the text line. 57 degrees. Light rain hath fallen. Will more fall? Have you ever been to Wilmore Falls?
Is it time to start watching Christmas movies again?
60% chance of rain today, Landry. Looking for a high of 69.
Nathan, you start decorating for Christmas at Labor Day now, right?
Well, you've got to.
And you start watching Christmas movies Memorial Day weekend?
Okay, by the way, let me go back to the text line, because we were talking about, are there any... Yesterday we talked about three named country singers, and today we asked the question, are there any...
just any singers.
That's true.
I mean, we expanded to all. But we allowed Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
But we asked the question, are there any single name country singers? Okay. And the text line somebody wrote something and then corrected themselves. Dasha, Dasha. I have actually heard of that name, but I have no idea what Dasha sings. I've heard the name.
Dasha?
Yeah, I've heard the name. Because, I work at a top 40 country radio station, so I'm around country music a lot, and I can literally see names of singers as I look at our play log.
Do you play the songs, or does
write
Gabe
the
do
songs that we take turns. Well, I do it in the morning. See, I'm here now.
Oh,
so I push
okay,
the button when I
okay.
get here, and we start playing the songs, and then
And
Gabe
that's
will
you.
come on around mid-morning, and then after that,
Do you pick,
Jimmy Clark does.
Do you pick them out, or does AI do it for you?
I do a by state
Or does-
rotation.
does
I said,
John-
give me a singer from Texas, then I need a singer from Arkansas, then I need a singer from Kansas, and so on.
Does John Tracy still have any input here when you pick out songs?
As much as John Travolta does.
JT,
Mm-hmm.
the two great JTs.
Somebody said Dolly.
Oh,
Okay,
that's right.
that's a good one. If anybody says Dolly,
There's
we
only
know-
one Dolly.
We know who you're talking about when you say Dolly.
It's not Dolly Madison.
No.
It's not Dolly Llama or Dolly the lamb, or what was that? The sheep? Wasn't that the
first clone sheep,
Yeah, the clone
allegedly?
sheep.
Yeah. One of our listeners said Scott Meacham was Brad Henry's treasurer. That's true. Well, see, first, hold on. First, wasn't Scott? There's secretary of the Treasury, right?
well?
But then you run for.
State-
Didn't he run for and win state treasurer? Those are two different things. Didn't he run
Wait
for
a minute,
state treasurer?
we have a secretary. We have a
Yes.
in Oklahoma.
I think
We
so.
do?
I think so. He was on Brad Henry's staff as his money
Yes.
guy, but then he ran for state treasurer. So he wasn't in the ledge, but he ran for statewide office as treasurer. I think that's right.
How'd Randy and all them know each other? And them. How'd they get to know Scott initially? Just from being around?
Well, he and Brad were
Did they
roommates and best friends at law school.
Law
or
school,
something.
right? That's where they. Okay, yeah. Law school.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Scott? He had an MBA and a JD.
I think so.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
That is impressive. Yeah, he and Brad Henry knew each other from law school, and then they met Randy, or at politics.
Well, you could Google him, look him up. I swear he started in the working in the administration. I swear as his secretary of the Treasury or some such, and then he ran for and won the office of state treasurer. They're two different offices that they sound the same,
Yeah,
but one is a cabinet post for the governor, and the other one is an elected office.
If I go to the Crow Dunleavy site, do you think that will give me the information I need?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's the director, by the way.
Of Crow Dunleavy?
Crow Dunleavy, which is what?
It's a law firm
That's the law firm.
in Oklahoma City.
That sounds exactly like a law firm, by the way.
In fact, doesn't Brad Henry work for the same law firm now?
Because they're all lawyers.
Well, sure.
Do you think Scott and Brad ever sue each other, just for fun?
They take each other to court just to see who could win.
Nathan,
Who's better? Let's go sue each other and see.
Scott Meacham joined Crow Dunleavy as a director in January 2011. As director, Nathan.
Okay,
What
go
does that
back
mean?
though. Go back.
He's on the
96.5
firm.
KECO, Nathan
Okay.
and Landry, 57 degrees.
He's-
Thunder win. Thunder win. The Thunder did it again. They win. The Thunder win. The
He
Thunder
was-
win. The Thunder did it again. They
okay.
win.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Go.
That's Scott Meacham, joined the firm. Crow Dunleavy. Was the firm written about him? Did John Grisham write this about Scott Meacham and Crow Dunleavy? He joined the firm after completing his term of service as the 17th State Treasurer of Oklahoma, serving in that capacity since June 2005. Next paragraph. In addition to his duties as State Treasurer, he served on the governor's cabinet as Secretary for Finance and Revenue.
Okay, finance and revenue,
from
whatever. It's called.
2003 to 2011. So he was State Treasurer,
Which
but
is
he
an
was-
elected position.
but he was
Before
on the
that-
governor's cabinet
Right.
as Secretary for Finance and Revenue. In that capacity, he was the governor's primary financial and budget advisor.
Yeah.
And served as the governor's chief negotiator on budget, legislative, tribal, and other matters.
You know who was always years ago?
Oh, wait a minute. Prior to his role as treasurer, he served as state finance director. Is that the same thing?
I don't know. You know who was always this Oklahoma State treasurer when I was younger? Was Robert Butkin.
Butkin.
Yeah, he was always
When
the
Sandy
treasurer.
Garrett was always the superintendent
Somewhere
of
around
public
there.
instruction.
96.5 KECO. Let's see. Hold on. Let me find it. I know what everybody cares about. Did you know the Thunder flipped the script on Wemby? And Spurs in Game 2 with Isaiah Hartenstein?
By the way, all you Thunder fans out there, you're welcome. I didn't watch the game last night.
I had asked Landry not to. So you're welcome
now,
for me.
I will say I did somewhere in the third quarter. I watched about 20 seconds. So going forward, I know the recipe for success for the Thunder. If I watch 20 seconds or less of any single game, the Thunder will win.
As I was going to bed last night at about 8:15, Sam said to me, the Thunder are up, but just barely. Actually, it was more like 9:30 last night.
I had been monitoring the score on my phone, and I saw the Thunder were up by about 9 to 11, and at one point it was only up by like 6.
122 to 113 was the final score. Thunder 122, Spurs 113. That evens the series. Now they're still down a game. Even though it's tied 1-1, they lost home court advantage, so they're going to have to get at least one game at San Antonio.
Just to get back on serve?
Yes.
Here's my question. What did they do to neutralize Wembanyama?
The day before the Thunder's must-win game against the see, Jenny Carlson called it must-win as well.
Well,
just like Steve McGee
and
I agree.
Chopper Dave said Elvis. So apparently Elvis had a role in neutralizing Wembanyama.
The day before the Thunder's must-win game against the Spurs, Mark Daignault pulled Isaiah Hartenstein aside. The Thunder coach wanted his big man to know that even though he didn't start the second half of the opener of the Western Conference Finals, he was going to start the second game of the series. Even though he played only a dozen minutes, he was going to not only play more, but also start the game guarding Victor Wembanyama. Daignault confessed, I didn't feel great about playing you 12 minutes. Hartenstein didn't blink. I'll do whatever the team needs me to do, he said. On Wednesday, Hartenstein turned the series. Wow, really? Okay, but later you were complaining about this 2 days ago. Or was it yesterday? You were complaining about how Hartenstein wasn't bodying up Wembanyama, and they had Caruso and Dort trying to guard him.
Well, the two tallest guys on the team, I believe, are Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, right? And so what I saw was Lou Dort and Alex Caruso, two of the shorter guys, guarding Wembanyama. And I thought, that makes no sense. Caruso, he's got to give up 1.5 feet easily. Foot and a half to win. My good, why in the world is Alex Caruso? I mean, Dort, okay. I mean, he's a stopper. He is a defensive stopper, even though he gives up height to Wembanyama. At least he is. I mean, he's got a body on him. He is built like a linebacker, and he gets after it defensively. But Caruso, I said, where's Hartenstein? Where's Holmgren? What is going on?
Okay, listen to this. You know, in the first game, Wembanyama got 41 points and 24 rebounds. Last night, Wembanyama cut that just about in half, down to 21 points.
Okay,
that's 17 rebounds, which is still a high number, but not as many as 24.
So how did they do? So it was Hartenstein?
Apparently.
Okay, so why didn't Hartenstein man up in game 1? What was the deal with that?
Because Daignault didn't play him.
But why not?
I don't know.
I
don't know why they thought. I don't know why in the world they thought that Dort and Caruso, who are both about 5'11", could body up a 7'4" dude.
I didn't see the first half of the first quarter. Did they start out Monday night with Hartenstein or Holmgren trying to guard Wembanyama? It wasn't working, so they said, "Oh, let's do something else." Or did they start the game rotating Dort and Caruso, guarding Wembanyama?
So Hartenstein is our own 7-footer. I say our own. I'm going to now claim the team.
Hey, I'm a fan.
Hartenstein's 7 foot 250.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And while he tends to play more on the perimeter when the Thunder has the ball, why?
I don't know.
Is that just to free up traffic so SGA can get to so Russell Westbrook can get to the basket?
Probably. Set screens and move out of the paint to make room. What about Chet? Chet Holmgren. I still, he's tall and bless his heart, he seems spindly.
Is Chopper Dave listening 5 minutes ago? Is there a time? Are we on a delay to middle Oklahoma?
The FCC called, and they said the 7-second delay is now a 5-minute delay.
All right, Chopper Dave says Elvis, and then it was that cold Kentucky rain.
You know, if you say Elvis, you're not thinking of Costello or Peacock.
No.
You're thinking of Presley.
Well, Switzer might be.
I mean, let's keep it real, okay?
Actually, Switzer might absolutely be thinking about Elvis Peacock. Strutting around like a peacock out there. 21 minutes after 7. Nathan, Landry, and Nathan. I had somebody else. After Landry, after the stories I told you yesterday, I had somebody else at a local grocery store.
Yeah.
Somebody I worked with.
Worked?
Almost 29 years ago.
Really?
When I excised my fingertips.
Yeah.
Somebody I worked with. I'm checking out,
Yeah.
and I recognize her a little bit, and she's looking. She said, Landry? I said, no, I'm Nathan. But and she, I was trying to look at your fingers to see if.
What?
I just it baffles me. I as a twin, I expect it to be 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, they're guess wrong, guess right, or just to, you know, in common references, it'd be about 50-50, but it's not. It's like 80-20 now. And I don't quite understand, although I do believe, and of course you've had all those years teaching a lot of students, so that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced that during the hour we do this show, I say your name a lot. But my name is probably not spoken as much.
I'm going to try to say, Nathan, I'm going to try to say your name more, Nathan. Because, Nathan, I got to tell you, I mean, frankly, from where I'm sitting, you are a valuable part of the show, Nathan. Okay? Oh, he's crying again. You know, Nathan is very emotional. I remember in the old days, back when I would go out among the people, and people would see me, and they would always call me Nathan. And when I would tell them I wasn't, they always seemed disappointed.
Well, and remember that one time when I was out of town and you did the show and a guy seemed confused and suspicious that I wasn't here? Remember that?
I said, we can't go on together with suspicious minds.
Oh, yeah.
Is Elvis the all-time greatest single-name singer?
All right, Chopper Dave, 3 minutes from now, are you going to hear our discussion of Wembanyama and Hartenstein?
Nathan, it was that cold Kentucky
I
rain.
think he's listening 5 minutes ago. I think Chopper Dave is in a time warp going backwards.
If Randy Butler, Scott Meacham, and Brad Henry were game planning for Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, which one of those three men would guard Wembanyama? Would it be Butler, Meacham, or Henry?
I don't know, but just before the game, they'd get ready by reading the latest penny news.
We start off by taking some photos, and so that I can kind of come up with a plan. But the most important factor with coming up with that plan is finding out what the patient's idea of the perfect smile is. Not necessarily everyone has the same idea of a perfect smile. Kind of like women that go to the nail shop for their fingernails. They don't all want the same shape, the same color. It's finding out what will work with their face to enhance their beauty as much as possible. Sometimes we will do a trial smile where I can send into the lab and do a mock-up, and we can actually kind of put something in their mouth to have an idea of what the outcome could look like to make sure we get the smile just right.
I'm Dr. Jamie Cameron, Southwest Dentistry and Cosmetics in Weatherford, catty corner to Walgreens. swdentalok.com,
where we treat you like family and do life-changing dentistry.
They're expecting me to get whatever task done. To a farmer, a tractor, combine, gets them up and running. He's back in the field, makes some money. Guy in the oil field, their piece of equipment's running again. That makes some money. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oil field or agriculture. So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. You're a oil field customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. If we're competitive on price, we say we'll bring it to you, we'll do whatever it takes to get it to you, make life easier on you, or you can call us to solve a problem. Hey, can you get this? Why wouldn't you? American Hose and Supply, 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
or call 303-1123. 303-1123.
Why wouldn't you?
Get your guns this weekend at the Oak City Convention Center. When you walk through the door at the GNS Promotions Gun and Knife Show, you'll see new and used firearms all over the place. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, plus knives, ammo, and accessories. Buy what you need or bring your own to sell. You can buy, sell, and trade. The Gun and Knife Show is this weekend at the Oak City Convention Center. Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 9 to 4. Admission, $8. Call 918-635-5432. Come get your guns.
You know, there's statues that Dad did. There was one at Perry, and it was of the Land Run. All the weight was out over the front of the statue base. I mean, there's only one little piece sitting actually on the statue base, and all the rest of the weight's hanging over the front of the edge of it. So he had to create a specific base that could cantilever out over the support and hold the statue. So it's amazing to me because my duty is doing artwork. I do artwork, you know, designs together and everything. But Linda had the unique ability to follow in Dad's footsteps in that regard. Amazing. She learned how to engineer the granite to accommodate all sorts of different uses in what we do. Yeah, she's extremely good.
The name of our company is Willis Granite Products.
Willis Granite Products.
And our website is willisgranite.com.
Our website is willisgranite.com.
Oh, no doubt. 727.
Look at that kind of thing all day.
96.5 KECO is the early morning show.
You did it. Well, I don't know if I can top that.
I know, right? We all want to be in control of our lives and ourselves. We want to make our own decisions, do what we want to do, go where we want to go, live how we want to live. Especially, that will be super true when you retire. I mean, when you're 62, 65, 68, 70 years old, you don't want the government or circumstances forcing you to do certain things. You want to live the way you want to live. After working for 40 years, putting in your time, it's your time. Advanced Financial Strategies can help you get ready. Advanced Financial Strategies. If you want the golden years to actually be golden, get a plan. Advanced Financial Strategies in Clinton. The website, retirewithbaca.com.
Now, I'm looking at a different photo, and it's less.
Well, okay, but
But more than that one. I mean, you know, it's okay. But this one, oh my.
yeah.
She was in Knives Out.
Yes, she was with Chris Evans. Maybe the most
Which-
handsome cast ever.
Which was she? Who did?
She was the girl. 225-9697. 225-9697.
That's Dawn
Pomeroy,
Johnson.
we're going to make this a fair fight.
Of course we are. Of course we are, GW.
There'll be none of this.
I wouldn't do that, GW.
You wouldn't do.
No, I wouldn't do that.
And Dev, I don't want you kicking Fauntleroy in the knee.
He didn't do no such thing.
And none of this nose twisting. He's all yours.
225-9697. Tell me the movie. 225-9697. Tell me the movie that was from. That Iowa actor. Oh, he's from Iowa. You better believe it. Went west, Landry, to seek his fortune with Mr. John Ford.
Wasn't there a new Knives Out movie?
There were two of them, yeah. Neither movie was as good as they should have been.
How about getting a guy from England to play a Southerner?
Benoit Blanc. Okay. I heard something the other day that just blew my mind. The gentleman who is singing this song, first of all, did you know the gentleman singing this song is from Texas?
Desperado, why don't you?
Gilmer, Texas, to be specific. Northeast Texas. He's an East Texas boy. Grew up listening to country music.
Boy, that this makes sense though. When you listen to some of the Eagles stuff, It sounds like country music.
According to Don Henley, who's the guy singing this, according to Don Henley, he did an interview 10 or 11 years ago with Billy Joel, oddly enough, at the 92nd Street Y in New York City. In 2015, Don Henley had put out an album of what he called, for lack of a better term, called it Americana. It wasn't really, it wasn't pop, it wasn't rock, it wasn't country, it was just, it had some elements of all that. And so they were talking about the Eagles' early days and his influences growing up, Don Henley's influences growing up, and all the country music he listened to, living in East Texas, and hearing singers on the radio, and going to see them in person, even going to the Louisiana Hayride. But they're talking about their early stuff and their single. Did you know, by the way, their, what is it, the Eagles' Greatest Hits is like the biggest selling album of all time or something. It was just huge. Anyway, did you know this song, Desperado, if I understood Don Henley correct, this was not a single.
Was it a single?
That's what he said.
It's one of the most famous songs of all time.
I know.
I think Clint Black's version of this on the Common Thread album, fantastic.
It is. Oh, no doubt. I think a lot of those versions were fantastic.
In fact, I may have shared this before, and I may get run out of town for saying this. I think Clint Black's version is better. I like Don Henley. I just think Clint's version is better.
Sorry, I'm going back to the text line now at 225-9697. This is what we really want. Landry and I would like to open the show with a few inane comments, but then have you all start rolling in with your lines and entertain us. That's what we want, okay? I love how one of our listeners said, they put I Heart on Wimby, but the main thing is they were able to hit their buckets.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wow, well.
See, game one,
boy.
I watched a lot of it. They couldn't throw it in the ocean. They just, and from three-point land,
So,
couldn't
yeah, hit
throw
your
it in
shot.
the-
It's amazing how everything else works better when you hit your shots.
And they still took it to double overtime. That's what's amazing.
Yeah.
Because the Spurs, they were shooting lights out. They were making everything. Wimby had his way with, Alex Caruso.
With whoever, I guess.
Whoever the short guy who was guarding him. They were hitting three balls. They were just knocking down everything. Thunder couldn't throw it in the ocean, and they still took him to two overtime.
Okay, here we go. I love how Hartenstein stomped Wimpy's foot.
Well, listen, let
Called
me
him Wimpy, by the way.
Let me ask you this, listeners. If you watched the game last night, yesterday I'm driving to my dental appointment. I had a tooth pulled yesterday. I'm listening to the Sports Animals on the drive to the dentist to go see Pete. And they announced a different officiating crew. Does it change with every game? I just assumed it'd be the same crew working the whole series.
That's a good question. I never thought of that.
Not the case. They on the morning Sports Animals yesterday, they announced the officiating crew, and one of the guys said, well, "That's not good." I don't know why.
Okay, but doesn't the OSSAA control that too?
So more on that later, by the way. And so my question
the
is,
OSSAA.
see, I watched much of game one, and they just weren't calling anything. Fouls, they weren't calling fouls. Not only were they not calling walks, because it's now illegal to call walking in the NBA.
Yeah, you'll get fired as a referee.
You can't do that. Apparently, they don't call fouls. How was the game officiated last night? Did they call it closer? Were they calling fouls? Really, all you can ask for, I guess, is for consistency. If you're gonna call it loosely, do it the same on both ends. Okay. How was the officiating last night?
Back to the text line 225-9697, and we just we've said several things, and so we have several different kinds of comments, Landry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I said your name, Nathan. We have several different
that's
kinds
right,
of comments.
Nathan. I'm sorry, Nathan, for not saying your name, Nathan. Nathan.
Okay.
And again, I say Nathan.
10 days ago, Monday, Tuesday. 10 days ago, I went to the end of the year band banquet for Oak City High School. I did. Nathan. Nathan did. Nathan's brother did not, but Nathan did. So I was there.
Is that right?
One of
Nathan?
our listeners was there.
Nathan? Really?
Yeah. Not sure which one of you were at the band banquet, but dang, you sure are handsome. Both of you. Wives must be very proud. Sir or ma'am,
Would you please tell our wives that?
I think they feel a lot less pride than our listener is suggesting. Another listener said, "You two crack me up, thank you." And then here we go. I played a clip, Landry. Do you remember when I played that clip?
Nathan. I absolutely do, Nathan.
I said,
one of the best clips I've ever heard, Nathan.
I said, which movie is this from?
Fauntleroy?
Whoops. Doggone it.
I don't remember that being a musicale.
Hold on. There we go. Here we go.
There'll be none of this.
I wouldn't do that, GW.
You wouldn't do.
No, I wouldn't do that.
And Dev, I don't want you kicking Fauntleroy in the knee.
He didn't do no such thing.
And none of this nose twisting. He's all yours.
I asked which movie starring an Iowa actor was that?
Right, Nathan.
And Nathan asked that question. And at least four of our listeners knew it. That's from McClintock. In my opinion, the funniest movie John Wayne ever did.
That was a funny movie. That was a very entertaining movie.
I think McClintock is his funniest movie. I think that The Searchers, he did two dark movies. Searchers and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Those are both dark movies. My personal favorite non-cowboy would be The Quiet Man. Just a nice movie, The Quiet Man.
I had forgotten that Michael Shannon was in Knives Out. Didn't he play one of the cops? Did he play a cop?
He played the guy with no personality, right? Because he has no personality in person or in any of his roles.
He has no personality in person.
What?
That is true.
What? Let's see. Was that Hoosiers during the state playoff game? I don't remember what that's regarding.
When the OSSAA said you can't have the same officiating crew every night.
8 minutes ago, someone asked that question. Was that Hoosiers during the state playoff game?
Maybe that made the first time you played that clip?
Maybe so. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, that locker room scene just before the boys from Hickory go out to play the state championship game, that is one of the all-time greats. The Hack.
You're all winners.
Gene Hackman.
When he tells them they're all winners.
Whatever happens, win, lose, or draw, your fault, my fault, nobody's fault.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you guys, and I love you.
Yeah, that's great.
That is a great scene.
Evidently, they do not call lane violations when shooting free throws.
I've seen guys jump in the lane and jump back out. They don't call anything.
No.
In the NBA.
Another listener says, back to the Common Thread CD with and the Eagles. One of our listeners said, I love Clint Black's version, and yes, dare I say better.
Okay, thank you. You know, I need validation, Nathan.
I
need validation.
I ran a hole through the Common Thread CD.
Nathan, that came out when you and I were seniors
That's right.
in high school.
The beginning of our senior year of high school.
In fact, Nathan, do I remember listening to that on the way to take the ACT
yes,
at Weatherford?
And Maurice Lucas thinking, what are we listening to?
Maurice Lucas and Stephen Lawfer.
That's right.
Did we drive? Did one of us drive?
Yeah.
In our 1985 Chevrolet Caprice Classic, 4-door, white.
Absolutely, Landry.
Grandmother car.
Most farm equipment has cylinders, and if a cylinder starts leaking, Bird can fix it. He'll tear it apart, replace the seals, put it back together. Bird does this for Camrock Supply next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City.
What's your favorite cut off that album? Do you have one?
God, there's so many. You know what I really liked, and I don't know if it's for the sound or it's just so sing-alongable. Peaceful, Easy Feeling by Little Texas. I thought was really good. Yes, I really enjoyed that. John Anderson. I'm not a big John Anderson fan, but Heartache Tonight was really good.
Do you remember that concert where I almost died?
Yeah.
From heat?
Yeah.
At OU?
Yeah.
Nathan and I, we went to the Toby Keith Twister Relief concert at the OU football stadium in Norman.
July of 2013.
July 5th? Wasn't that the day after? July 4th?
I think so.
20 what?
Yeah, the 5th is the day after the 4th. You're
2013?
right, Landry. You're right, Nathan's brother.
And it was so hot.
How hot was it, Nathan's brother?
People were passing out
they were.
in the stands. Nathan and I, during the John Anderson portion of the concert, after Willie and Mel...
Two songs I wanted to hear John Anderson sing, and I missed them both.
Nathan and I went beneath the West Side bleachers to go to the bathroom and hide out from the heat, and we missed the entire John Anderson set. And he sang, we could hear it, and didn't he sing Heartache Tonight?
Did he?
While we were under.
I'm not a big J.A. fan, but I really think he did a great job on Heartache Tonight.
by the Eagles on the Common Thread. What was your favorite cut
That's a
on
good
that album?
question. Vince Gill, that was such a groovy. I can't tell you
Look
why.
at us, baby, up all night. And then 2 years later, 1 year later, it was in 95. It was fall of 95 when Vince did the concert at the Myriad. And
November of 95?
And
November 94.
And he did that song. That was his curtain call.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Heard him, and
I
man,
missed the end
when
of
the
that
piano, when the
concert.
keyboard player started in, and everybody knew it, the place erupted,
freaked out.
Dum,
I was down the
dum,
road
dum,
at the Baptist Hospital emergency room. But you know what,
Nathan's brother, you've dealt with it well and overcome it. 2 songs, Landry, at Twister Relief in Norman in July of 2013. 2 songs by John Anderson I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear Swingin', and I wanted to hear this, Black Sheep. But I went to the bathroom, and it was so crowded, it took so long, I missed John Anderson.
Loudest music I've ever heard in my life was at that outdoor concert. Sammy Hagar.
I'm the black sheep of the family.
I wanted to hear that song. I wanted to hear Swingin' and Black Sheep, and I missed them both. They never listened to me. I'm the black sheep of the family.
He made a comeback, right? He was out of the business for a while.
Yeah,
wasn't
he was big in the early 80s and then just went away for 6 or 8 years.
Did he do a stint in the Coast Guard and then he came back?
When his tour,
his hitch was up.
Landry, he was a Mormon missionary for 6 years, and then when he was done with that, he came back. He
If
joined Roger Staubach in the Navy for 6 years.
If you ever see John Anderson on a bike wearing a white shirt with a friend,
yeah,
he's going door to door.
My wife, she waits on tables, and at night she rubs my back. And I tell her what my papa said to my mama when he got off a highball train. Oh, wake me up early, be good to my dogs, and teach my children to pray.
Briley Baca is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through Royal Fund Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Every dollar you save for retirement has a silent partner, and it's your crazy Uncle Sam. He's waiting with his hand out, ready to take a chunk of your IRA, your 401k, and even your Social Security if you're not careful. But here's the truth. You can fight back. With the right strategy, you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket and out of Washington's. At Advanced Financial Strategies, we specialize in family wealth management, helping families in Western Oklahoma cut down on future tax bills, maximize income, and keep control of their financial future. Don't wait for the IRS to decide how much of your retirement you get to keep. Call me, Briley Baca, a certified financial planner professional here in Clinton, at 323-6800 or visit our website, retirewithbaca.com. Advanced Financial Strategies, your money, your future, your choice.
Forget the chief. Hell to the savings. Brought on by the hell. Mother Nature lobs some ice pebbles over Barbara Dyson Ford, and we love it. We get to mark down every vehicle we've got, leaving even more money in your pocket. On top of that, we're closing out the 2025 models with even bigger rebates. Small hail damage means big markdowns on everything, plus bigger rebates on the 2025 models. These spring savings will get you ready for summer travel at Barbara Dyson Ford in Oak City, online at barbaradysonford.net.
We start off by taking some photos, and so that I can kind of come up with a plan. But the most important factor with coming up with that plan is finding out what the patient's idea of the perfect smile is. Not necessarily everyone has the same idea of a perfect smile. Kind of like women that go to the nail shop for their fingernails. They don't all want the same shape, the same color. It's finding out what will work with their face to enhance their beauty as much as possible. Sometimes we will do a trial smile where I can send into the lab and do a mock-up, and we can actually kind of put something in their mouth to have an idea of what the outcome could look like to make sure we get the smile just right.
I'm Dr. Jamie Cameron, Southwest Dentistry and Cosmetics in Weatherford, catty corner to Walgreens. swdentalok.com,
where we treat you like family and do life-changing dentistry.
If they just need a seal kit, you tear it completely apart. replace all the rubber goods that's in the cylinder. Wear rings, lip seals, piston seals, replace it and put it back together, test it, and send it on its merry way. Most of your farm equipment has cylinders. Sometimes they know what's the matter with it. If it's leaking, they'll bring it in, and they'll sometimes bring their own seal kits with them. I just tear it apart and rebuild it and put her back together. A small one don't take very long at all. The big one, like this one I've got back here, it'll take a couple hours. If they bring their seal kits in with them, it's quick repair. If I have to order my seals in, it's next day. Well, my name is Roy Jones, and everybody in Elk City knows me by Bird. And this is Camrock Supply, Elk City, Oklahoma.
It's 2111 South Main, south of Fred's Steakhouse.
I've known them guys for years and years, and they know what I'm capable of doing.
14 minutes away from the top. 96.5 KECO's The Early Morning Show. Nathan Landry and you and Carter Electric bringing you the forecast this hour. We got a 60% chance of rain today. High near 69. Tonight, make it a 30% chance of showers. Mostly cloudy, 56. Tomorrow, 20% chance of lingering rain in the morning. High of about 80. So today, high of 69 with a 60% chance of rain. Tomorrow, slight chance early. And tomorrow's high about 80 degrees. Right now on the back porch, light rain falling, 57 degrees, cloudy skies, feels great. When she went to the Humane Society to look for a new cat. All right, you're walking down Cat Row. One little orange tabby sticks its paw out to play with her. And so Julie took this cat home, named him Milo, and Milo became her best friend. She loves cats, loves animals, and she wants to help take care of yours. If you got to leave town, got to get away, need somebody to pet sit, walk the dog, pet the cat, feed the cat, potty breaks, that sort of thing, Julie will do it. Call 339-6622. 339-6622. She'll take care of your pets like you would. 339-6622. I was in the Myriad in Oklahoma City in fall of 1995. Excuse me.
Right.
Fall of 1994.
That's right, Nathan.
And old Vince, thank you, Nathan's brother, for validating that.
You're welcome, Nathan.
And then when Vince Gill, Nathan's a big fan of Vince, when Vince Gill came back on stage, all right, for his first curtain call, and the keyboardist wailed on this, the place erupted because we knew. We knew. Wah, wah, wah. And that's all it took. But the other version, the other song on the Common Thread CD, in autumn 93, Country Stars doing Eagle songs. And that helped, I think, get them back together.
Supposedly.
They started...
Randy Travis Tritt. I think he took credit for getting the band back together.
But Travis Tritt's version of
Standing on a Corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Take It Easy.
Take It Easy.
Might be the most played. Might be the most played. I hear it all the time. I've heard that one more than any other. It's not my favorite, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't love that song. But I'll tell you what I did love. I absolutely love this version of this song. Diamond Rio doing Lion Eyes. Fabulous.
So good.
Fabulous version. Diamond Rio's great. I think the song's great. This is such a well-written song.
City girls just seem to find out early.
I do vocal bass.
Marty Rowe.
Is that his name?
His voice is better than Glenn Fry's.
Yeah. He could have been an Eagle if he'd have been around 20 years earlier. I mean, he had the hair.
You know, they put Vince in the band.
Yeah.
You know, he did so well in his audition on Common Thread, they put him in the band.
This line, Landry.
I guess every form of refuge has its price.
Late at night, this big old house gets lonely. I guess every form of refuge has its price. That's a great line. Found a sugar daddy, he's an old cold guy. I want the old boy I went to school with, so I'm leaving. Lion Eyes, Diamond Rio, part of the Common Thread CD.
That Knives Out cast is so interesting. You ever just looked at the cast?
Sure, Don Johnson.
They got Christopher Plummer. He was the Father Von Trapp.
Baron Von Trapp from The Sound of Music.
Jamie Lee Curtis. James Bond. What's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Chris Evans. They got Captain America.
Anna de Armas, who played Marilyn Monroe.
I didn't know she played Marilyn Monroe. Anna de Armas. Don Johnson. They got Miami Vice in there.
Was he Crockett or Tubbs?
They've got, and then what's his name? The guy with no personality.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
They had way too much personality with everybody else. They needed a guy with no personality.
What an interesting cast.
Yeah.
But here's part of the problem. Nathan and I were talking about this off the air. Nathan and I were talking about this. Chris Evans played Captain America. And then in Knives Out, he was a bad guy. Nobody wants to see Chris Evans play a bad guy.
No.
Nobody wanted to see Jimmy Stewart play a bad guy. Nobody wanted to see Kevin Costner play a bad guy. Things didn't go well for Kevin Costner in that wretched movie with Clint Eastwood where he played a bad guy. Nobody wants to see that.
What was the name of that one?
If you're a good guy, you make your name, you make your fortune being a good guy. Keep being a good guy. You know that Chris Evans movie that you and I both liked, where he's a guy and he meets a girl and they're up together the entire night in New York looking for the daylight, that's fine. He's not a bad guy in that. We don't need him to be a superhero in every movie, but we don't want him to be a bad guy.
Yeah, you can't be the villain. That doesn't
in
work.
Knives Out, he's a
Doesn't work for
villain.
me.
He's a bad guy. It doesn't work.
You know what? That doesn't work for me.
But it didn't sit well.
But Barbara Dyson Ford does work for me because they keep having things happen where they lower prices.
Really?
First the hail fell, and then they said, hey, it's we got some 25s, let's close those out. And then Ford Motor Company said, let's give everybody Ford Motor Company employee pricing, not even dealership employee pricing. This is Ford Motor Company employee pricing. Get ready for summer trips. Barbara Dyson Ford, northeast part of Elk City.
So you're telling me that iHeart bodied up Wimby last night and cut his point production in half. So maybe going forward, maybe Dagnall should assign Hartenstein to guard Wimbenyama.
Have you talked to Mark Dagnall about this? Nathan's brother?
I was going to have Randy Butler, have Scott Meacham, have Brad Henry do it.
Good morning, cloudy with rain chances. Currently 57. This is the Paragon Morning News. I'm Jared Atham. An Arkansas man is facing a felony charge in Beckham County after authorities say he gave false information while trying to buy a firearm in Elk City. Court records show Philip Lane James attempted to purchase a .410 shotgun on April 23rd and completed a federal firearms form stating he was not under felony indictment. Investigators say the purchase was denied through the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check system, leading to an investigation by the Elk City Police Department. Authorities later discovered James allegedly had active felony charges in Arkansas, including terroristic acts and first-degree criminal mischief. Investigators say James knowingly provided false information in an attempt to buy the firearm illegally. James was arrested on May 7th at the Beckham County Courthouse during a separate court appearance. Bond was set at $10,000. One of Elk City's best-known landmarks is getting a fresh new look ahead of a busy Route 66 summer season. Old Town Museum curator Anna Ray says the museum building has undergone major structural improvements along with a historically accurate paint update designed to reflect the building's original colors. Ray says the goal was to restore the building's historic beauty while making it more eye-catching for visitors driving by the museum grounds. The museum team worked together researching the new color scheme, which includes a shade called Delft Blue in show-high white trim. The Old Town gazebo will also be repaired and painted to match the museum building. Additional painting and maintenance projects have also been completed across the museum complex ahead of Route 66 Centennial celebration this year. Southwestern Oklahoma State University has dedicated the Jim and Frida Mogg Conference Room inside the new Jerry and Margaret Hodge Center for Pharmacy and Rural Health on the Weatherford campus. The Hydro couple are longtime supporters of SWAZU. Jim Mogg, a 1971 graduate and Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame member, previously served as chairman of the SWAZU Foundation Board. The conference room is now part of the new $27 million Hodge Center, home to the SWAZU College of Pharmacy and Center for Rural Health. SWAZU President Dr. Joel Kendall says the MOG's support will help strengthen rural health care across the region. These stories and more on our Facebook page and website. Cloudy with rain chances. It's 57 outside. This has been the Paragon Morning News. I'm Jared Atham.
This season was challenging. Cotton prices were down, and we all felt the pressure. That's when it really matters who's handling your cotton. Carson County Gin knows the LDP program inside and out. They understood the timing, locked in the rates at the right moments, and made sure we captured the most money possible back through the LDP program. They pushed the right channels, stayed on top of the paperwork, and made sure our proceeds and LDP payments were done right. In tough years like this one, that makes a real difference. That extra money matters to our operation, and I know we're not just another load of cotton. They treat us like a priority. The gym processed our LDP payment within days, and when it was ready, they didn't mail it, they hand-delivered a check to us. When every cent counts, don't put your livelihood where you're just a number. Put it where experience works for you. Carson County Gin, just west of Pampa. Managed right and taken care of.
4 minutes. In 4 minutes, it'll be 8 o'clock, 96.5 KECO. I hope you get the latest penny news because it came out last night. I'm looking at Brian's Buy of the Week. Farm and Ranch. Here we go. Farm and Ranch hose. Good night. Save $10 right now. It's only $29.99. 5/8 inch by 100 foot. Get your hose. Save $10 right now. Brian's Buy of the Week at Atwoods Ranch and Home Goods, Elk City, Clinton, Woodward, Altus. This information inside the latest penny news. Landry, I really enjoyed this cut off Common Thread.
I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown.
Little Texas. Peaceful, Easy Feeling off the Common Thread Eagles Tribute CD in the autumn of 1993.
With a billion stars all around.
That's Little Texas. That's not. It's not the usual lead singer. It's one of the other dudes.
What? That's odd. Tim Rushlow?
Well, they had a lot of hair.
How did I come up with his name? I can't remember the name of the sandwich I had for lunch. Well, you know, even the Beatles occasionally let Ringo sing one.
Okay, I really like that. And another version, Landry. See if you remember this. You remember who sang it? It was not Randy Meisner. Randy Meisner sang the original for the Eagles.
It was a gal.
Yeah, it was.
What's her name?
Yeah, it was.
Oh. Yeah, what?
She was no floozy, but her name was Susie.
Not bogus.
Nobody uses the word floozy anymore.
Let's
you
bring it
that?
back. When we get the schools to introduce that curriculum of old sayings and words, let's see if we can get them to include floozy.
We have induced one listener to pull out the Common Thread CD and start listening. Another listener says, Steve for governor. Steve said his first order of business as governor will be to outlaw green bean casserole. And that's why Steve is getting my vote.
Well,
somebody said, I love Elvis's version of My Way more than Frank Sinatra. Don't hate me. Hey, no judgment. Elvis did a great job. Sort of like this guy. What did Frank sing on that Common Thread CD? What did Frank Sinatra
Blue suede shoes.
Fox News Exploring Energy Tradio at 10 today and Ag at noon. Backroads at 3. Country music all day and local news and sports at 96.